Good morning, students. In the last class, we are discussing about the NEET, that is the chapter motion in a straight line. So today we will also continue the same chapter on remaining questions, right? So move on to the question number 20. A car runs at a constant speed on a circular track of radius 100 meter, taking 62.8 seconds for every circular lap. The average velocity and average speed of each circular lap respectively is. So here in this question we are going to find the average speed and average velocity. So given condition is a car runs at a constant speed in a circular track, right? So that means in the circular path the car is moving with the radius. So circular path the radius that is 100 meter. So and it takes time to complete one circular lap, that is time t given, that is 62.8 seconds, right? So for one circular point means its initial position and final position both will be the same, right? So first the average velocity and average speed, right? So average velocity is equals to the displacement by time. So for completing one lap, the displacement of the car is zero because the initial position and final position for one circular lap is same. So hence the displacement is zero, right? So V average speed or average velocity, that is equals to zero because displacement is zero. Right? So displacement ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ 0 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So displacement definition ಏನಂದ್ರೆ initial position minus final position. So here initial and final positions both are the same. So hence displacement is 0. So hence average velocity is 0. Right? So next average speed. So average speed is the total distance traveled by the car in time 62.8 seconds. So total distance. So it is the circular path. So distance gives what the circumference of the circle, right? So average speed, that is equals to distance by time. So distance gives what? So complete circular path alli travel ಆಗ್ತಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ one circular loop ಗೆ ಕೇಳಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ so it gives what? The circumference of the circle, right? So formula for the circumference of the circle, that is 2 pi r divided by time t, right? So ನಮಗೆ radius ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, pi constant ಇದೆ and time ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So calculate ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ 2 into 3.14 into 100 divided by 62.8, right? So 2 into 3.14 we get 6.28. So 100 in the multiply model, so we can write this one as 62.8 into 10 by 62.8. So ಎರಡು ಸೇಮ್ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So we get 10 meter per second. So average speed ಎಷ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ 10 meter per second. So average velocity ಎಷ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ 0, right? So option C. So ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So ಆಪ್ಷನ್ A ದಲ್ಲಿ 10 ಮತ್ತೆ 0. So ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಬೇಡಿ, ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ 0 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So speed ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ we get some values, right? So option C, right? So move on to the 21st question. A particle moves along a straight line OX at the time t. The distance x of the particle from O is given by, so displacement with respect to time relation ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, right? So x is equals to 40 plus 20 minus t cube. So how long would the particle travel before coming to rest? So here we are going to find the displacement. So initially 0 ಇರುತ್ತೆ. So starting from the rest ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋ ಈಕ್ವೇಷನ್ ಏನಿದೆ ನಮಗೆ x is equals to 40 plus 20 minus t cube. So condition ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, how long would the particle travel before it coming to rest? So before it coming to rest means its velocity, final velocity will be 0. So before coming to rest ಅಂದ್ರೆ final velocity 0 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So first we need to find the time. So some distance in the travel ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. So it's come to 0 means we need to find the time t, right? So ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, that means that velocity becomes 0 ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ first t calculate ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. So from the t we can find the distance covered by the object before it coming to rest, right? So velocity is given by v is equals to dx by dt, that is rate of change of displacement, right? So we need to differentiate this relation, right? So if we differentiate this relation, we get 12 minus 3t square, right? So here we are going to find the time t when the velocity is 0, right? So substituting here 0 is equals to 12 minus 3t square, right? So t square is equals to 12 by 3, that is equals to 4. So t is equals to 2 seconds. So ಎಷ್ಟು ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ಸೊ ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮ್ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ 2 ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಅಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮ್ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಇವಾಗ ಈ 2 ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಕವರ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್, ರೈಟ್? So velocity we can derive dx by dt. So again by taking this relation, so by this relation we are going to find the displacement x, right? So dx by dt, that is equals to 12 minus 3t square, right? So now when find out ಮಾಡಬೇಕು displacement. So limit ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ when t is equals to 0 seconds. So starts from 0 seconds and it ends at 2 seconds. So we need to integrate the given equation. So dx is equals to 12 minus 3t square into dt, right? So if we integrate 0 to x, so here it is 0 to 2. So integration of dx, we get x, that is equals to, so integration of 12 into dt, we get 12 into t minus 3 t cube divided by 3. So limit from 0 to 2. So applying upper limit and lower limit. So 12 into 2 minus 0 minus, so 3 get cancelled, 2 cube minus 0, right? So here 24 minus 8, so we get 16 meter. So displacement x is equals to 16 meter. So option A. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ x ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ x ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಲ್ಲ, ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ವಿತ್ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟು ಟೈಮ್ t. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಟೈಮ್ t 0 ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಎಷ್ಟು ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತೆ t ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ವೇರಿ ಆದಾಗ ಎಷ್ಟು ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತೀವಿ ಈ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಫೈಂಡ್ ದ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ಡ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ 0 ಟು 2 seconds. So time ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಿದಾಗ ನಾವು ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿನ ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಏನು ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್, ಸೊ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ x ನ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಶಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ dx by dt. ಸೊ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಶಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ನಮಗೆ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ವಿ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಶಿಯೇಟ್ ದ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ, so we get d square x by dt square, that is equals to acceleration, right? So same wise, if we integrate the acceleration, so acceleration integrate ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ velocity ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. So same wise velocity ನ integrate ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, so ನಮಗೆ ಏನು ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, displacement ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, right? ಸೊ ಈ 2 seconds ನೀವು ಈ ಈಕ್ವೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅದು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ರಾಂಗ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಬೇಕಿದ್ರೆ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, t is equals to 2 ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ 40 minus, so 40 plus 24 minus 8, right? So 64 minus 8, so we get 56 meter, right? ಸೊ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಇದು ಕೂಡ ಇದೆ 56 ಮೀಟರ್. ಸೊ ಬಟ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ರಾಂಗ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಲಿಮಿಟ್ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, 0 ಇಂದ 2 seconds ವರೆಗೂ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ t is equals to 0 and t is equals to 2 here, right? So this is when t is equals to 2 seconds. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಆದ್ರೂ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅಥವಾ ಆಲ್ಟರ್ನೇಟ್ ಮೆಥಡ್, ಈ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಆದ್ರೂ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಕೇಸಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ x of 2, right, minus displacement x of 0, that is displacement when t is equals to 2, displacement when t is equals to 0. So this is what the final displacement x. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ t ಗೆ 0 substitute ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, so 40, this becomes 0 and this becomes 0. So ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ x of 0, that is 40. So x of 2 ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ನಮಗೆ 56 minus 40. So again we getting 16 meter. right? So ಈ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಏನು ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆಗಿ ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರೇಷನ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಲೆಂಥಿ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವೇನಾದ್ರೂ x ಆಫ್ -0 ನ ನೀವು ಮಿಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ 56. ಸೊ ಇದು ಕೂಡ ನಮಗೆ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಇದೆ, ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಡಿ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಈ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ರಾಂಗ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಪ್ರಿಫರ್ ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರೇಷನ್, ರೈಟ್? Next, 22nd, a ball is thrown vertically upward. It has a speed of 10 meter per second. When it has reached one half of its maximum height, how long does the ball rise? Right? So this is question is about the vertical motion. So question ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, a ball na throw ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ vertically upward. It has a speed 10 meter per second when it reaches the half of its maximum height, right? So this is the ground. So from the ground one ball is projected upwards. So when it reaches the half height, right? So half height means that is h by 2. So total height h ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ half height that is h by 2. So when it reaches the one half of its maximum height, so its velocity become 10 meter per second. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ velocity ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಎಷ್ಟು 10 meter per second. So ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇನ್ನು ಎಷ್ಟು ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ it will reach. So remaining half distance ಎಷ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ, right? So that means here v is equals to 0. So we need to find h, right? So by using the relation v square minus u square, that is equals to minus 2g h. So minus y because it is vertically upward, so a becomes minus g, right? So v final velocity value becomes 0. So minus 10 square, that is equals to minus 2 into 10 into, so in place of h we have h by 2, right? So that is h by 2. So 2 to get cancelled, so 10 square get cancelled, so minus get cancelled, so h is equals to 10 meter. So option A. So 26th question kuda same question ide, right? So 22nd question and 26th question ಎರಡಕ್ಕೂ ಕೂಡ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಏನು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ that is 10 meter. So same question, so little bit change ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಹೈಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡರಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ನಮಗೆ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಹೈಟ್ ಅಂತ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಸೇಮ್, that is 10 meter. Next, the displacement x of a particle varies with the time t as x is equals to a e to the power of minus alpha t plus b into e to the power of beta t, where alpha or a, b, alpha and beta are positive constant. The velocity of the particle will be, right? So here in this question they given displacement with respect to time. They given the equation x is equals to a e to the power of alpha t, that is minus alpha t plus b into e to the power of beta t, right? So this is similar to that of the given relation. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ constant values ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So in place of constant, so here alphabets ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So here alphabets also are constants, right? So we need to find the velocity v, right? So velocity v, again we need to differentiate the relation x, right? So v is equals to dx by dt. So if we differentiate this relation, we get minus a alpha e to the power of minus alpha t plus b beta e to the power of beta t. So this is the given displacement and we find the velocity by differentiating the x, right? So option velocity will be independent of beta, right? So that means velocity na ನಾವು ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದ ಈ ಈಕ್ವೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಬೀಟಾ ಇರಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅದು ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಬೀಟಾ. ಸೊ ಈ ಈಕ್ವೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಬೀಟಾ ಟರ್ಮ್ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಸೊ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ರಾಂಗ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಿರೋ ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಸೊ ಗಿವನ್ ಈಕ್ವೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಬೀಟಾ ಅನ್ನೋದಿದೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, velocity drops to 0 when alpha is equals to beta, right? So v is equals to 0 when alpha is equals to beta, right? So RHS and equation, yeah, in place of alpha we need to substitute beta, right? So wherever alpha, we need to substitute beta, right? So that is b is equals to a beta, that is minus a beta e to the power of minus beta t plus b beta e to the power of beta t, right? So 0 ಬರ್ತಿದೆ ನಮಗೆ. So v is equals to not equals to 0 because two different constants ಇದೆ a ಮತ್ತೆ b. So ಇದು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸಲ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. When a is equals to b ಇದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಈ ಎರಡು ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So ಅವಾಗ ನಮಗೆ b is equals to 0 ಬರುತ್ತೆ, right? So from this we can say that b is not equals to 0. So second option ಕೂಡ ಏನಾಗಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ correct ಇಲ್ಲ, right? So go on decreasing with time. So that means time increase ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋದಂಗೆಲ್ಲ velocity ಏನಾಗಬೇಕು, decrease ಆಗಬೇಕು. So as this is exponential, so it will be in the positive axis, right? So vt graph ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ, so ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಗ್ರಾಫ್ ಬರೋದ್ರಿಂದ, so ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ತರದ್ದು ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಮಗೆ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಕೂಡ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ರಾಂಗ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, right? So and the last option is go on increasing with time. So time increase ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋದಂಗೆಲ್ಲ velocity ಕೂಡ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, increase ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, right? So option is option D. Next, 24. A man throws a ball with the same speed vertically upwards, one after the another at the interval of 2 seconds. What should be the speed of the throw so that more than 2 balls are in the sky at any time? Questions ಇದ್ದಲ್ಲ ಹೆಂಗೆ ನೀವು ಮತ್ತೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡಿಲ್ಲ. A man throws a ball with the same speed vertically upward. So from the ground he is throwing the ball with some velocity u, right? So one after the another interval of 2 seconds. So one ball throw ಮಾಡಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ball throw ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. So one ball throw ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ it takes some 2 seconds, so it will cover some distance. So 2 seconds ಅಲ್ಲಿ it will cover some distance ಅಂದ್ಮೇಲೆ after 2 seconds he again throwing one more ball, right? So every regular interval 2 seconds ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಲ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ಬಾಲ್ ನ ಥ್ರೋ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. So given condition is what should be the speed of the throw so that more than 2 balls are in the sky. So ಎಷ್ಟು ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಾಲ್ ನ ಥ್ರೋ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, so minimum 2 balls ಎಲ್ಲಿರಬೇಕು, ನಮಗೆ ಸ್ಕೈ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕು, right? So ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಎಸೆದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದು ಬಾಲ್ ಥ್ರೋ ಮಾಡೋಷ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಬಾಲ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಗ್ರೌಂಡಿಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. So minimum speed ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಥ್ರೋ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, so ಎರಡು ಬಾಲ್ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಎರಡು ಬಾಲ್ ಆದ್ರೂ ನಮಗೆ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕು, right? So that means t ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, some velocity u, when it reaches the maximum height its velocity becomes 0, right? So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು height ಅನ್ನೋದು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, right? So height to necessity ಕೂಡ ಇಲ್ಲ, but we need to find the velocity u, right? So by using the relation v is equals to u minus gt. So minus because vertically upward motion, right? So v is equals to 0. So u ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, g ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, t ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, that is 2 seconds, right? So 2 seconds ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದು ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ interval of time. So every ball ನ ಥ್ರೋ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ 2 seconds ತಗೊಳುತ್ತೆ, but total ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋ ಟೈಮ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. So that is time of ascent, right? So from this v is equals to u minus g ta, right? So from this ta is equals to u divided by g. So this is for the time of ascent, right? So when it reaches the maximum height again it will come down, right? So that means time of ascent, that is equals to time of descent. So total time of flight ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ, t is equals to time of ascent plus time of descent. So total t get, that is u by g plus u by g, right? So that is 2u by g. So this value must be greater than, so this is only for the time of ascent, then time of descent will be 2 plus 2, that is 4 seconds, right? So greater than 4, so 2 get cancelled, so u is greater than 2g, so u is greater than 2 into 9.8, so u is greater than 16, so 19.6 meter per second, right? So ಇಷ್ಟು ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಥ್ರೋ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ 2 balls ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ more than 2 balls will be in the space or it is in the sky, right? So option is option A, that is more than 19.6 meter per second. Next, if a ball is thrown vertically upward with speed u, the distance covered during the last t second of its ascent is, right? So this is also the vertically upward motion. So ball is thrown vertically upwards with the speed u, right? So the distance covered during the last t seconds of its ascent, right? So this is the last t seconds when v is equals to 0. So we need to find the distance h. So t, time of ascent, that is given t. So v ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, u ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So we need to find the h. Again by using the same relation, v is equals to u minus gt. Why minus? Because it is vertically upward motion, right? So v value ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ 0, that is equals to u minus g into t. So t is equals to u by g, right? So maximum height reach ಆಗಕ್ಕೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮ್ ಬೇಕು, that is u by g. So ನಾವೇನು ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, h, right? So again by the equation h is equals to ut minus half gt square, right? So first ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ in terms of time ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ we need to substitute u. So from this we can write u is equals to g into t, right? So substituting here h is equals to u into, sorry, in place of u, gt into t minus half gt square, right? That is gt square minus half gt square. So ಎರಡರಲ್ಲೂ ಕಾಮನ್ ಆದ ತೆಗೆಯಬಹುದು ಅಥವಾ LCM 2gt square minus gt square by 2. So we get gt square by 2, right? So option B, that is half gt square. So as already said, 26th, same question. Next, 27th, motion of a particle is given by the equation s is equals to 3t cube plus 7t square plus 14t plus 8 meter. The value of the acceleration of the particle at t is equals to 1 second, right? So displacement ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, we need to find the acceleration, that is 3t cube plus 7t square plus 14t plus 8. So acceleration ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ first we need to find the velocity, right? So v is equals to ds by dt. So differentiating the given equation, so we get 9t square plus 14t plus 14. So this is what the velocity. So next, from the velocity we need to find the acceleration, that is rate of change of velocity, that is dv by dt. So again differentiating this equation, we get what the acceleration, that is 18t plus 14, right? So we need to find the acceleration a when t is equals to 1 second, right? So when t is equals to 1 second, so substitute here a is equals to 18 into 1 plus 14, right? So 18 plus 14, that is 32 meter per second square, right? So last class alle tumma differentiation ಹೇಳಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ so fast ಆಗಿರಬೇಕು differentiation. So same formula, dx power n by dt, that is equals to n into dt power n by dt, n into t power n minus 1, right? So option B, 32 meter per second square. Next, 28th question, right? A car is moving with a speed of 40 km per hour, can be stopped by applying brakes after at least 2 meters if the same car moving with a speed of 80 km per hour. What is the minimum stopping distance? So, you need two cases for right? ನೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅದೇನು ನೆನಪಲ್ಲಿರೋದಿಲ್ಲ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಬ್ರೈಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮನೇಲಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ಕೋಬೋದಾ ಮತ್ತೆ So 28th question, a car is moving with a speed of 40 km per hour. So that means one car is moving with a speed of 40 km per hour, right? And it can be stopped by applying brakes. So move ಆಗ್ತಿರೋ ಕಾರ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ನ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. So it takes 2 meters to stop the car. That means so it covers some distance. So that distance is 2 meters. So after reaching 2 meters, so its velocity becomes 0, right? So brake apply ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಕಾರ್ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ 2 ಮೀಟರ್ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ದಂಗೆ ಅದರ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ 0 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So this one is the first case, right? So second case ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, so one more car will be moving with speed of 80 km per hour, right? So again for this car also they are applying the brake. So here it covers some distance. So yesterday distance ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ, so that we are going to find. So after it covers some distance x, the car will comes to rest. So here also v is equals to 0, right? So here we are going to find the x, that is the displacement, right? So ಈ relation ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಏನು ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು x find out ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, right? So here they given two velocities u and v and they given the displacement 2, right? So from this we can find the acceleration a. By using this acceleration, so substituting here we can find x. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ನಮಗೆ u ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ನಮಗೆ v ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So acceleration ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ we can find the value of x, right? So that is from the relation v square minus u square, that is equals to 2as, right? So first equation here v1 square u1 square is equals to 2as, and for the second equation v square, that is v2 square minus u2 square, that is equals to 2ax, x because the displacement x. So x ತಗೊಂಡಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಾವು x ಅಂತ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ, right? So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ ಪರ್ ಅವರ್ ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ ಪರ್ ಅವರ್ ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದು ಮೀಟರ್. So ನಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಲೆಂಥಿ ಆಗಬಹುದು because we need to convert from kilometer hour to meter per second. So displacement ನ find out ಮಾಡ್ತಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ so we can either convert the meter. So meter ನ ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ ಗೆ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಗೇನ್ ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ ಟು ಮೀಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಅಥವಾ ಇಲ್ಲೇನೆ 40 into 5/18. So here also 80 into 5/18. So it will convert to meter per second. So that is so this becomes 100/9 meter per second. So here 200/9 meter per second. So ಎರಡರದ್ದು initial velocity in terms of meter per second ಅಂದ್ರೆ 100/9 200/9, right? So ಎರಡರದ್ದು final velocity v1 is equals to 0, v2 square is equals to 0. So we can divide equation 1 by equation 2, right? So minus u1 square 2/1 minus u2 square by 2ax divided by minus u1 square by 2a. Yes, so minus minus get cancels, right? So this we taken u2 u1, right? So u2 square means 200/9 whole square by 100/9 whole square, that is equals to 2 into a into, so displacement ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ 2 meter, 2 divided by 2 into a into x, right? So 2a to a get cancelled. Numerator x ಇದೆ, denominator ಅಲ್ಲಿ So this we can write. So maximum simplify ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಜನರಲ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿ 200 ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಬೈ 9 ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಸೊ 100 ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಬೈ 9 ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲದನ್ನು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಬರೀಬಹುದು ಬಟ್ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಸೊ 9 ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ get cancels right so 2 into 100 ಬರೀಬಹುದು ಇದನ್ನ that is 2 square into 100 square divided by 100 square that is x by 2 so 100 square get cancelled so 2 square 4 so 4 into 2 8 that is x is equals to 8 meter right so calci allow ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ so length ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಡಿ so ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು a ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ from this equation first equation ಇಂದ ನೀವು ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ u1 ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ನಮಗೆ 100 by 9 whole square that is equals to 2 into a into 2 that means a is equals to 100 square by 9 square into 4 so ಮತ್ತೆ ಇದನ್ನ 100 ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು 9 ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು 4 ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸಮ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ a ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಈ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಮತ್ತೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಲೆಂಥಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಟೈಮ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮಿಂಗ್ so one term 0 ಆಗೋದ್ರಿಂದ we can directly divide equation 1 and equation 2 so ಯಾವ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಬೇಗ ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿಫೈ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ರೈಟ್ ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಮತ್ತೆ 200 ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ನ ನೀವು 200 into 200 divided by 81 ಮಾಡಿ ರೈಟ್ ಸೊ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲಿಕೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ನೋಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿ ರೈಟ್ ಸೊ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಸಿ ಸೊ ಇಷ್ಟು ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ನೆಸೆಸರಿ ಇಲ್ಲ but ನಿಮಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ಸ್ ಸೊ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿಫೈ ದಿಸ್ ರಿಲೇಷನ್ so next a rubber ball is dropped from a height of 5 meter on a plane on bouncing it rises to 1.8 meter the ball loses its velocity on bouncing by a factor of right so when rubber ball is dropped from a dropped on the ತಕ್ಷಣ that's initial velocity is always equals to 0 right so dropped ಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ thrown ಗೆ ಎರಡು ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ dropped ಅಂದ್ರೆ its initial velocity is 0 so thrown means it has some velocity right so a rubber ball is dropped from a height of 5 meter on the plane so the plane means so ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಇದೆ ಈ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ರಬ್ಬರ್ ಬಾಲ್ ನ ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ so ಎಷ್ಟು ಹೈಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ 5 meter ಅಷ್ಟು ಹೈಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ರೈಟ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಆನ್ ಬೌನ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್ ರೈಸಸ್ ಟು 1.8 meter ಸೊ ಬಾಲ್ ಬಂದು ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಗೆ ಬಿದ್ದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಬಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬೌನ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಮೂವ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಆಪೋಸಿಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಸೊ ಅವಾಗ ಎಷ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ ಹೈಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಹೈಟ್ ಇಸ್ 1.8 meter ರೈಟ್ so 1.8 meter right so what we are going to find is the ball loses its velocity on bouncing by a factor that means ball after that it will loses its velocity as its initial velocity is 0 when it reaches the ground it has some velocity that is v1 right so v1 is there so again here the ball is again bouncing so bouncing means somewhere here so ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬೌನ್ಸ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಅದರ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ v2 ಇರುತ್ತೆ so v1 ಇಂದ v2 ಗೆ there is a difference in velocity we need to find that velocity right so after it bouncing again here its final velocity becomes 0 right so ಇಷ್ಟು height travel ಆಗಿದಂಗೆ its velocity ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ 0 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ so ಇಲ್ಲಿ initial velocity 0 ಇದೆ ಈ ಕೇಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ final velocity 0 ಇದೆ so here we need to find the ratio that is v1 minus v2 with respect to v1 right that is change in velocity with respect to the original velocity right so that we can also take delta v divided by v right so ಇಲ್ಲಿ v1 ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ v2 ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ first we need to find v1 and v2 by using the relation v is equals to u plus gt because it is vertically downward direction so first case ಅಲ್ಲಿ vertically downward ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ its initial velocity is 0 so ಈ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ 0 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ right so v1 is equals to g value is going to be 10 So time ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಥವಾ displacement ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ we can use the relation v1 square minus u1 square that is equals to 2gh. So distance ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ we can use this relation, right? So u1 value ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ 0 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, right? So v1 square is equals to 2 into 10 into 5. So height ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ 5 meter ಇದೆ. So 5 into 2 10, 10 into 10 100. So v1 is equals to 10 meter per second. So first case in the name find out not going to be v1, right? So from the second case, so e case in the this becomes the initial velocity and this becomes the final velocity, right? So again by using v2 square minus u2 square that is equals to minus 2gh. Why minus? Because it is moving upward. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ downward ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ plus, so ಇಲ್ಲಿ upward ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ minus. So final velocity ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ 0. We need to find the initial velocity, that is minus v2 square that is equals to minus 2 into 10 into 1.8, right? So minus minus get cancels, v2 square is equals to, so 10 into 1.8 18, so 18 to the 18 to the 36. v2 is equals to square root of 36, 6 meter per second. So now v2 ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು, v1 ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು. So we need to find this relation, that is v1 minus v2 divided by v1. So this we can write 1 minus v2 by v1, right? So 1 minus v2 is 6 divided by 10. So 2 3s are 2 5s are. So taking LCM 5 minus 3 2 by 5, right? So option is option B. ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ ಇದು ಏನು ಬಂತು? ಏನಾದರೂ ಡೌಟ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಕೇಳಿ ನೀವು. ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಮ್ಯಾಥ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಎಷ್ಟು ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇರ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮ್ಯಾಥ್ಸ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಬೈ ದಿಸ್ ವಿ ಕಾಂಟ್ ರೈಟ್ v1 by v1 minus v2 by v1. ಸೊ v1 v1 ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ವಿ ಗೆಟ್ 1 minus v2 by v1, right? So ನೀವು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, v1 minus v2 by v1 we can write 1 minus v2 by v1. Next, 30th question. The position x of a particle varies with the time as x is equals to at square minus bt cube. The acceleration will be 0 at the time t is equals to, right? So the given displacement with respect to time x is equals to at square minus bt cube, right? So we need to find the time when acceleration is 0. So we need to find t when a is equals to 0, right? So acceleration 0 ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So acceleration 0 ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, right? So from the given relation first we need to find the acceleration. So acceleration means we need to differentiate this relation 2 times, right? So one time differentiate ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ we get velocity v. So differentiation we get 2at minus 3b t square, right? That is dx by dt. So if we further differentiate the velocity we get the acceleration a, that is equals to 2a minus 3b, so 6b t, right? So now from this relation the given condition is a is equals to 0. So substituting a is equals to 0. So from this we can get t, right? So 0 is equals to 2a minus 6bt. So 2a is equals to 6b into t. So 2 1 are 2 3s are. So t is equals to a by 3b. So option is option A. So 31st question, if a car at rest accelerates uniformly to a speed of 144 km per hour in 20 seconds. It covers a distance of. So it's simple problem ಇದೆ. Car initially ಎಲ್ಲಿರುತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ rest ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, right? So that means u is equals to 0 and it accelerates with the speed, that means v is equals to 144 km per hour, right? So ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮ್ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ 20 seconds. So 0 ಇಂದ 144 km ಬರಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ t is equals to 20 seconds. So ಈ 20 seconds ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಕವರ್ ಆಯಿತು? So that means we need to find x or s, right? So u ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, v ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, t ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, we need to find x. So ಯಾವ ರಿಲೇಶನ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? That is we have three equations. v is equals to u plus at. So ಅದರಿಂದ ಏನು ಕೆಲಸ ಇಲ್ಲ because there is no displacement. So remaining two relations ಯಾವುದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ s is equals to ut plus half at square and again v square minus v square is equals to 2ax, right? So ಎರಡರಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ನಮಗೆ acceleration ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. So first we need to find the acceleration. So ನಮಗೆ u ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, t ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, but we don't know acceleration in this relation. So again ಈ relation ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ v ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, u ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, 2 is a constant, displacement ನ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Again acceleration is unknown. So from we need to find the acceleration again by using the relation v is equals to u plus at. So ಇದನ್ನ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬರುತ್ತೆ? 144 into 5 by 18 ಎಷ್ಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ? 18 stable, 18 8 18 8 ಜನ 18 9 ಜನ 5 8 40. So 40 meter per second. So v ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ 40, u ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ 0 plus a into time ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ 20. So 0 0 get cancelled. So a is equals to 2 ones are 2 twos are. So a is equals to 2 meter per second square, right? So now we can substitute this to either this relation or in this relation. So a relation ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದು substitute ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ನಮಗೆ ಏನು ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ? ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. So ಯಾವುದು ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಇರೋದು? So first s is equals to u 0, complete term becomes 0, 1 by 2 into 2 into 20 square. So 2 to get cancelled, s is equals to 20 square is 400 meter. That is option D. ನಿಮಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಶೀಟ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ 2 ಶೀಟ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಆ 2 ಶೀಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು 3 ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್ ನ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತೀರೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಒಂದೊಂದು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಗೆ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಪೇಜ್ ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ರಿಮೈನಿಂಗ್ ಈಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಜಾಗನೇ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ರೈಟ್? 30 ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್. ಸೊ 30 ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್. A body dropped from a height h with initial velocity 0 strikes the ground with velocity 3 meter per second. Another body of same mass dropped from the same height h with an initial velocity of 4 meter per second, right? The final velocity of the second mass with which it strikes the ground, right? So again here two cases. So one object is dropped from the certain height h with initial velocity 0. So u is equals to 0. So ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ certain height ಇಂದ drop ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. So ಆ height ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, right? So when it reaches the ground, its velocity becomes, so here v is equals to 3 meter per second, right? So next, another body of same mass dropped from the same height. So same height ಇಂದನೇ another body ನ drop ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So here its initial velocity is given, u is equals to 4 meter per second. So illi dropping 0 irutte. So here they are throwing with a speed 4 meter per second, right? So same height inda drop ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Next, its initial velocity is given, we need to find the final velocity, right? So v. So ಎರಡು dropping ಇದೆ. right? So ಎರಡು ಸೇಮ್ ಹೈಟ್ ಇಂದ ಇದೆ. So we need to find the height in the first case, then substitute the same height in the second case, we can get the v value, right? So ಯಾವ ರಿಲೇಷನ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತೀವಿ, u ಮತ್ತೆ v ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, g ಇರುತ್ತೆ, right? By using the relation v square minus u square, that is equals to 2g h, plus because it is vertically downward motion, right? So first case in the we can find the h, so substitute the h in the second relation. So illi kuda by using the same relation v square minus u square, that is equals to 2gh, right? So substitute and find the value. So v square is 3 square minus 0, that is equals to 2 into 10 into h, right? So h is equals to 9 divided by 20. So substitute here, we need to find v square minus 4 square, that is equals to 2 into 10 into 9 by 20. So 2 into 10, 20, 20 by 20 cancels, right? So minus 4 square shift to RHS, so it becomes 16 plus 9, that is equals to 25. So v is equals to 5 meter per second. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ 5 ಇರುತ್ತೆ. So option A. So next, 33rd question. The acceleration of a particle is increasing linearly with the time t as bt, right? The particle starts from origin with initial velocity v naught, right? So the distance traveled by the particle in time t will be, right? So you know, three equations use ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ simplify ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. So given conditions na use ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು simplify ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. So the given acceleration of a particle is increasing linearly with the time t. So increasing linearly with the time t, that means a is equal to b into t, right? So when a is the acceleration, b is some constant, and t is the time. So the given acceleration is equals to b into t, right? So idu first condition of koಟ್ಟಿರೋದು. Next, the particle starts from origin with initial velocity v naught. That means when t is equals to 0, the u value is v naught, right? So initial velocity kuda koಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, that is v naught, right? The distance traveled by a particle in time t will be, so time t is equals to 0 idaga initial velocity v naught irutte. We need to find the displacement x when time is t. So ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಟೈಮ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಕವರ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ, right? So the given acceleration, so acceleration ಇಂದ ನಾವು ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಈ ರಿಲೇಷನ್ಸ್ ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಇದು ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿಫೈ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ, right? So again from the previous ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಂಗೆ acceleration ನ ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ನ ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, right? So first we need to integrate with respect to time t, so that we give what the velocity, right? So acceleration can also be written dv by dt, that also we can write d square x by dt square, where x is the displacement, right? That is a is equals to dv by dt or d square x by dt square. So ನಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ x ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ so ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ನೆಗ್ಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು a is equals to d square x by dt square ಅಂತ ಬರ್ಕೋಬಹುದು, right? So d square x by dt square, that is equals to b into t, right? So integrate, so above equation na integrate ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ we get dx by dt, that is equals to bt square by 2 plus some constant c. So idu indefinite integral ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ we get a constant, so that one is the integration constant ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರೀತೀವಿ. So ಲಿಮಿಟ್ಸ್ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ತರದ ಲಿಮಿಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ, ಸೊ ಇಂಡೆಫಿನೈಟ್ ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರಲ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ವಿ ಟೇಕನ್ c, right? So now substitute this relation, right? So when t is equals to 0, its initial velocity is v naught, right? So that means substitute here. So dx by dt na ನಾವು ಏನಂತ ಕರೀತೀವಿ, velocity v, right? So t is equals to 0, so this becomes v naught. So v naught is equals to 0 plus c, so c is equals to v naught, right? So substituting here the same relation, we get dx by dt, that is equals to bt square by 2 plus v naught. So velocity now we can write dx by dt. So initial velocity when t is equals to 0, we get the value c, that is v naught, right? Dx by dt and v naught, that is again from the given condition, right? So further integrate the relation. So e relation na again integrate ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ final displacement ಬರುತ್ತೆ, right? So that is x, that is equals to bt cube by 6 plus v naught t plus c. Again we are getting some constant t, right? So again by using the relation when t is equals to 0, so initially starts from the origin, t is equals to 0 ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ x ಕೂಡ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ 0 ಇರುತ್ತೆ. So substituting here t is equals to 0, so x is equals to 0, 0 plus 0 plus c, so again c is equals to 0, right? So displacement we get x is equals to bt cube by 6 plus v naught t. So plus c ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ plus c in place ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಏನು ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, 0, right? So that is plus 0, we get the same relation, x is equals to bt cube by 6 plus v naught t. So option C. So displacement calculate ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನೀವು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ s is equals to ut plus half at square relation ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, again wrong ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ a is equals to bt ಅಂತ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ, so ut plus half bt cube, so ಇದು ನಮಗೆ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಕೂಡ ನಮಗೆ ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲ್ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ನಾವು ಏನು ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ, v naught t plus half bt cube. ಸೊ ಇದು ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಡಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ನೀವೇನಾದ್ರೂ ಈ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡೇ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ರಾಂಗ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಕೇರ್ಫುಲ್ ಆಗಿರಬೇಕು ಎರಡು. ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಸೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಜನರಲ್ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಎರಡು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ರಾಂಗ್ ಆಗೋ ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ರೈಟ್? So integration on regular class ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆ, so integration of x power n dx ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ x power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1, right? So differentiation ಮತ್ತೆ integration ತುಂಬಾ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, because ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ we are going through with the differentiation and integration, right? So this is integration. So differentiation t power n, that is dt power n by dt, that is equals to n into t power n minus 1. So ಈ ಎರಡು ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾಸ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಸೊ ನಾನು ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅಗೇನ್ ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರೇಷನ್ ಯಾವ ತರ, ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಷಿಯೇಷನ್ ಯಾವ ತರ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಅದೇ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇದನ್ನ ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ t ಪವರ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ t ಪವರ್ 1 ಇದೆ, ಸೊ x ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ t ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ t ಪವರ್ 1 plus 1 divided by 1 plus 1, hence we get b into t power 2 by 2, right? ಸೊ ಈ ಕೇಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದ್ರೆ t ಪವರ್ 2 ಇದೆ, ಸೊ x ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ t ಇದೆ, n ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಇದೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ t ಪವರ್ 2 plus 1 divided by 2 plus 1, so hence we get t power 3 by 3, right? So 6 because 3 into 2 6, right? So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ v naught is into t ಬಂತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, so in place v naught into 1, right? So 1 we can write that one as x power 0. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ t ತಗೊಂಡಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ t power 0. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ n place ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆ 0 ಇದೆ, so t power 0 plus 1 divided by 1 plus 0 plus 1. So t power 0 plus 1 t divided by 1, so hence we written t, right? So ಇದು ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ. So practice ಮಾಡಿ integration ಮತ್ತೆ differentiation, right? So next 34, the water drop falls at regular interval from a tap 5 meter above the ground. Third drop is leaving the tap at instant the first drop touches the ground. How far above the ground is the second drop at that instant, right? So question ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, a water drop fall at a regular interval from a tap 5 meter above the ground. So one tap ಇದೆ, right? So ಈ tap ಎಷ್ಟು height ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ? 5 meter height ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ, right? So water is dropping from the tap, that is 5 meter above the ground. So third drop is leaving the tap. So ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಒಂದು drop leave ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. So ಈ drop ಎಷ್ಟನೇ drop ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ? Third drop, right? So when the third drop is leaving the tap, the first drop reaches the ground. So this is the first drop, right? So each drop will be dropping at regular interval. So prati drop kuda, so that means time difference between first drop to the second drop, that is to the third drop. For example, first drop ಮತ್ತೆ second drop ಗೆ time difference 1 second ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ second drop ಮತ್ತೆ third drop ಕೂಡ time difference ಎಷ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ 1 second. That means at regular interval ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಪ್ರತಿ drop ಕೂಡ ಬೀಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. So in case 2 seconds ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ so second ಮತ್ತೆ third drop ಗೆ time difference ಎಷ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ 2 seconds ಇರುತ್ತೆ, right? So first drop ground reach ಆಗಿದೆ, third drop leave ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ. So that means in between somewhere one drop is there. So that drop is the second drop, right? So first drop ground reach agide, third drop just leave alli ಇದೆ, right? So in between one more drop, that is the second drop, right? So the time difference between these two drop, if we take a t, so again the time difference for first and second drop we can take t, right? So regular interval ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ t ಮತ್ತೆ t. So irregular ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು t1 ಅಂತ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ t2. So ಎರಡು ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವಲ್ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ t ಮತ್ತೆ t ಅಂತ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ, right? ನಮಗೆ ಟೈಮ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ, so hence we taken in general t, right? So ನಾವು ಏನು ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, from the ground how far will be the second drop. So ground ಇಂದ ಎಷ್ಟು height ಅಲ್ಲಿ second drop ಇದೆ, right? So we can take this one as h, right? So from the top we can take this one as x, right? So total height 5 meter ಇದೆ. So in between two drops we can take x and h. So ಇದು ಎಷ್ಟು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ನಮಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. So different height ಇರಬಹುದು, ಒಂದೇ height ಅಂತ ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ. Hence we can take x and h, that means two different heights, right? So 5 is equals to x plus h. So h is equals to 5 minus x. So ಇದು first condition. So ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಏನು ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಫಸ್ಟ್ x ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. x ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಏನು ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, t, right? So by taken general case, so dropping means its initial velocity u is 0, right? So total height it takes time 2t, right? So height ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ 5 meter, initial velocity 0, so ಇಲ್ಲಿ 2t ಇದೆ. So we can find the value of t, that is by using the relation v is equals to u plus g. The velocity v ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, right? So final velocity is the relation ಆಗಿದೆ, h is equals to ut plus half gt square. So h ಅಂದ್ರೆ again confuse ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So total height ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ 5, we can directly take 5, right? So u value 0 ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ complete this value becomes 0, right? So 5 is equals to 1 by 2 into 10 into, so in place of t we have 2t whole square, right? So 2 ones are 2 5s are 10, so 5 get cancelled, right? So t square is equals to 1 by 4, so t is equals to 1 by 2 seconds, that means half second. So ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ರೀಚ್ ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಟೈಮ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, 1 by 2 seconds, right? So initial velocity 0 ಇದೆ, so time ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ, so we can find the x. So again by using the same relation, x is equals to ut plus half gt square. So plus g, why? Because it is vertically downward direction. So in this relation also u value 0, that is 1 by 2 into 10 into 1 by 2 whole square, right? So 2 5s are 10, 5 divided by 4, right? So x is equals to 5 by 4. So 4 ones are 4. So remaining 10. 4 twos are 8. So excess bantu namge 1.25 meter. But we need to find the height from the ground to the second drop. That means h find what ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. So substituting here 5 minus 1.25. Right? So we get 5, 7. So 4 minus 1, 3. So 3.75 meter. That is from the ground. So nimge another question only from the top of the tap. So from the tap, how much it will be the distance for the second drop andre x agutte. So from the ground andre h agutte. Right? So option A, that is 3.75. ಸೊ ಎರಡು ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಇದೆ. ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಫೈನಲ್ ಮಾಡೋದಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಸೊ 3.75 1.25 ಎರಡು ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ದ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಎ, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ 3.75 meter, right? So next, a car accelerates from rest at a constant rate alpha for some time, after which it decelerates at a constant rate beta and comes to rest. If the total time elapsed in t, the maximum velocity acquired by the car will be, right? So ಇದು graphical method ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಬಹುದು ಅಥವಾ ಜನರಲ್. ಸೊ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ ಇದೆ, right? This car accelerates from rest. That means its initial velocity ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ 0. So rest ಅಂದಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಅಲ್ಲಿ initial velocity 0 ಅಂತ ನೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. Next, accelerates at a constant rate alpha. That means they given a is equals to alpha, right? Accelerate ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ it has some final velocity. So we can take that velocity as v is equals to v maximum, right? So accelerate ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ, to change its velocity from rest to v maximum it can take some time t1. So ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಟೈಮ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ, t1 ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Next, after some time which it decelerates at a constant rate beta and comes to 0. So v maximum ಮತ್ತೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತಿದೆ, it decelerate means retardation. So acceleration ಏನಾಗ್ತಿದೆ ನಮಗೆ decrease ಆಗುತ್ತೆ and it comes to rest. So here we getting v is equals to 0. So here the given acceleration a is equals to minus beta. Decelerate ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ negative acceleration, since we take that one as minus beta. So v maximum in the 0 ಬರೋದಕ್ಕೆ it takes some time. So that time we take a t2. So overall, so starts from rest and comes to rest, it takes the time t. So ಇದು ಕೂಡ given condition ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದೆ. So ಇದಿಷ್ಟು process ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ತಗೊಂತಾ ಇರೋ ಟೈಮ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ, t ಅಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮ್ ತಗೊಂತಾ ಇದೆ, right? So from this data we can write t is equals to t1 plus t2, right? So this is acceleration. So here retardation, right? So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ t1 ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, t2 ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. So first we need to find the values of t1 and t2. So u value ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, v value ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, alpha ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. By using the relation v is equals to u plus at, right? So for first case u value 0. So v place ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಬರ್ಕೋಬಹುದು ನಾವು, v max or vm, that is equals to acceleration alpha time t1, right? So from this we can write t1 is equals to v maximum by alpha. From the second case, again by using the same relation, v is equals to u plus at. So in place of v, final velocity is 0 ide, that is equals to, in place of u we can write v max. So this becomes the initial velocity, right? So vm, so acceleration is minus beta. So time value is t2, right? So t2 is equals to vm by beta. So t1 ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು, t2 ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು. So substitute and simplify, right? So t1 is vm by alpha plus vm by beta. So ಎರಡು ರಿಲೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ vm ಕಾಮನ್ ತೆಗಿಬಹುದು, vm ಕಾಮನ್ ತೆಗೆದು LCM ತಗೊಂಡು ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ alpha plus beta divided by alpha beta. So now ಏನು find out ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು maximum velocity Vm. So Vm is equals to alpha beta divided by alpha plus beta into T. So option, that is option D. 36th question. A particle moves along a straight line such that its displacement at any instant t is given by s is equals to t cube minus 6t square plus 3t plus 4 meter. The velocity when the acceleration is 0 is. So that means we need to find the velocity when acceleration is 0, right? So displacement again we need to differentiate. So if we differentiate the displacement, we get velocity and then we get the acceleration, right? So s is equals to t cube minus 6t square plus 3t plus 4. So once we differentiate, we get the velocity, that is 3t square minus 12t plus 3. Right? So again differentiate, we get the acceleration 6t minus 12. Right? So we need to find the velocity v when a is equals to 0. That means substitute a is equals to 0. So we get t is equals to 12 by 6, that is equals to 2 seconds. Right? So substitute t is equals to 2 in velocity, we get v is equals to 3 into 2 square minus 12 into 2 plus 3. So 4 2s are 8, 4 3s are 12 minus 12 2s are 24 plus 3. Right? So 15 minus 24 minus 9 meter per second. So option is option C. So same, when acceleration is 0, find the displacement. Yes means we need to substitute 2 in yes, then we get the displacement yes, right? So ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ substitute ಮಾಡಿ simplify ಮಾಡಿ. Next, velocity of the train increases uniformly from 20 km per hour to 60 km per hour in 4 hours. The distance traveled by the train during this period is. So we need to find the distance covered. So initial velocity u ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ 20 km per hour, right? V ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ 60 km per hour, right? So time ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ t is equals to 4 hours, right? So we need to find the distance traveled. So by using the relation v square minus u square, that is equals to 2a, acceleration. First we need to find the acceleration, right? That is v is equals to u plus at. So v is 60, u is 20 plus a into time is 4, right? So 40 is equals to 4a. So from this a is equals to 10 kilometer per hour square. So ಎಲ್ಲ kilometer per hour ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ given option ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ kilometer ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಇದನ್ನ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋ ನೆಸೆಸಿಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲ, right? So acceleration 10 kilometer per hour square. So v square is equals to 2as. So v square is 60 square minus 20 square, that is 2 into 10 into s, right? So s is equals to 60 plus 20 80. So 60 minus 20 40 divided by 20. So 20 2s are 40. So displacement 160 kilometer. So option A. So ಇದನ್ನ ಮತ್ತೆ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ. So this is in the form of a square minus b square. So that we can write a plus b into a minus b, right? So 60 plus 20 80, 60 minus 20 40. So option A. Next, the displacement time graph of a moving particle is shown below. The instantaneous velocity of a particle is negative at a point. So they given the relation, that is graph. So displacement time graph, xt graph ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, right? So mention the points C, D, E, F, right? The instantaneous velocity of a particle is negative at point. So instantaneous velocity ಎಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, right? So from the significance of graph, so graph significance in the xt graph, slope gives what? Velocity, right? So slope in kodutte namage velocity kodutte. So this is xt graph. So if we draw the slope at c, we getting the positive, right? So illi positive slope barutte. So positive slope andre instantaneous velocity kuda enirutte namage positive. That means drawing the tangent at the point C. So ಈ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಟ್ಯಾಂಜೆಂಟ್ ನ ಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ನಮಗೆ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಂಟೇನಿಯಸ್ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ C. So again here at point D, if I draw the tangent, so that is parallel to T. So that means the velocity is 0. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ತರಹದ ಸ್ಲೋಪ್ ಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡಕ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. That's why here slope is 0. So slope is 0 is nothing but velocity is equals to 0. So velocity is 0 ಅಂದ್ರೆ instantaneous velocity ಕೂಡ ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ 0 ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, right? So again at E, so ಈ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು tangent ನ ಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಥವಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಲೋಪ್ ನ ಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ, so here we are getting the negative slope, right? So slope negative ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ instantaneous velocity ಕೂಡ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, right? So option is option, that is answer is at E we are getting the negative instantaneous velocity, right? So E point ಅಲ್ಲಿ negative ಇರುತ್ತೆ. So again if I draw the slope at F, so this is similar to that of the C. So here also we are getting the positive slope. So instantaneous velocity, if I draw the tangent, so here we are getting the positive instantaneous velocity, right? So point E ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಏನು ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ? Negative velocity ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, right? So option is option A. Next, a body starts from rest. What is the ratio of the distance traveled by the body during the 4th and 3rd second? So that is the distance traveled in nth second, right? So ಇದು ನಿಮಗೆ APL ಕೂಡ ಬಂದಿರಬೇಕು, mathematic progression ಮಾಡಿರುತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮ್ಯಾಥ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ nth ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಏನಿದೆ? xn is equals to xn, x ಬೇರೆ xn ಬೇರೆ ಬಂದಿಲ್ವಾ? So here displacement, that is Sn, that is u plus n minus 1 by 2 into a, right? So here u is the initial velocity, a is the acceleration, right? So we need to find the ratio of the distance traveled, where s is the distance traveled, n is the time, that is nth second, that is 4th second. So wherever n, we need to substitute 4, right? So s4 is equals to, start from rest, u is equals to 0. So 4 minus 1 by 2 a, right? So 8 minus 1, that is 7 by 2 a. So acceleration ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ, keeping as is 7 by 2 a. So same wise s3, so substituting n is equals to 3, right? So 3 minus 1 by 2 into a, so 6 minus 1, 5 by 2 a, right? So we need the relation for the ratio s4 is to s3 or s4 by s3. So dividing the two terms, so numerator a, denominator a get cancelled, so 2 get cancelled, so the ratio is 7 by 5. So option is option A. So which of the following curve does not represent the motion in one dimension? So 4 curves ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನಮಗೆ. So first curve, that is with respect to velocity time graph. So this is increasing velocity, that means acceleration is uniform acceleration, so this is retardation, right? So idu kuda namage one dimension represent madutte. So second curve is circle, right? So that is vt graph, right? So velocity with respect to time. So ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, so if you draw one line perpendicular to time axis, so here we are getting the two velocities. So for example, some time t is equals to 2 seconds tone, right? So same time ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ v1 v2 ಎರಡು velocity ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ. So this is not possible in one dimension motion, right? So hence this is not the one dimensional motion graph, right? So option is option B, right? So option C and option D nodadare, right? So here V into T, so here this one is the idu namge uniform acceleration, so idu variable acceleration ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ we are getting this type curve or this type curve. So ಎರಡು ತರ curve ಕೂಡ ನಮಗೆ one dimension motion represent ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. So again, so here V into T, so sine curve ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. So ಇದು ಕೂಡ one dimension motion represent ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. That means time change ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, velocity change ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Once we getting positive velocity, so next we are getting negative velocity. So all these three represents one dimension motion. So this circle will not represent the motion in one dimension. So circular path means it represents the two dimensional motion. So it is the example for two dimension motion, that is motion in a plane. So next, a body dropped from top of tower fall through 40 meters. During the last 2 seconds of its fall, the height of the tower is, right? So from the top of the tower, ಏನಾಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ಬಾಲ್ ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ its initial velocity 0, right? It falls through 40 meters during the last 2 seconds of it fall. So ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಕವರ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಂದ್ರೆ 40 ಮೀಟರ್. ಸೊ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಇಟ್ ರೀಚಸ್ ಟು ದ ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್, ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಫಾಲಿಂಗ್ 2 seconds. So in 2 seconds ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಾಲ್ ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ಗೆ ರೀಚ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ, ಬಟ್ 2 seconds before it covers 40 meter distance. So from this data we need to find the total height of the tower, that is h, right? So only illinda illi ನೋಡ್ತಿರೋ time t is equals to 2 seconds. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ x is the distance, right? So ನಮಗೆ ಈ ಡಾಟಾ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಟೈಮ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. So we can take this one as t1, this will take t2. So ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ತಿರೋ ಟೈಮ್ ಕೂಡ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, right? By using this data we are going to find the height, that is total height of the tower. So by using this relation, right? So ಈ relation ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ height ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, that means distance covered by the object ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, velocity 0 ಇದೆ. So vertically downward in the g we can substitute the value 10. So from this we can find t1, right? Or we can calculate up to here by using the relation h displacement h is equals to ut plus half gt square, right? So t is the total time taken from top of the tower to the ground, right? So h is unknown, keeping h as this, so u is 0, so we can substitute that one as 0. So 1 by 2 g t square, calling this as first equation, right? So this distance is to the number 40 meter, right? So either we can take, so same relation to here also, 40 meter, that is equals to u value 0 irutte, half g t1 square, right? So from this relation we can write t is equals to t1 plus t2, right? So t1 is equals to t minus t2 value is 2. So t1 is equals to t minus 2. So substituting here, that is 40 is equals to 1 by 2 g into t minus 2 whole square, right? So from this we can find T 80, that is equals to G into T square plus 4 minus 4T. So G value 10 substitute ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ T square plus 4T minus 4T plus 4, that is equals to 8, right? So T square minus 4T, that is equals to 4. So substitute here 10 by 2. Where I should not use now. So this we can write h is equals to 40 plus x. Total time T and total height h. 40 plus 6, that is equals to 10 into G. Car covers, sorry, body dropper from the top of tower fall through 40 meters during the last 2 seconds of its fall. The height of the tower is T is equals to T1 plus T2. D square minus A square equals to 2G H. So S is equals to UT plus half G 3 whole square. So this becomes 0. So 40 is equals to half G T1 square. So in place of T, we can write that one as T1 plus T2 whole square. T2 is 2, we can substitute here 2, 5G. So T1 substitute T1 square right, so 80, that is equals to 10 T1 square, right? So T1 square is equals to 8. We can take h is equals to 5 T1 square plus T2 square plus 2 T1 T2. So 50 T1 square, we can substitute that one as 8 plus 2 plus 2 root 8 into T2. So 50 10 plus Okay, we will discuss next class. So ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು time t calculate ಮಾಡಬೇಕು by using simplification. So t1 calculate ಮಾಡಿ substitute here t, so we get the height h, right? So 41 as is ನಮಗೆ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರಿ ಪೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರಿ, we will discuss in our next class, right? So 42nd, a car moves a distance of 200 meter. It covers the first half of the distance at a speed of 40 km per hour and second half of the distance with the speed v. The average speed is 48 km per hour. The value of v, right? So in regular class I explain right? So a car moves a distance of 200 meter. So distance between 2 points A and B is 200 meter, right? So it covers the first half of the distance. So first half means exactly between A and B is 100 meter. So half the distance, half 100, 200 and half 100, right? So with the speed 40 kilometer per hour, right? So on the second half of the distance, so second half the distance is 100 meter and its speed is v, right? So the given average velocity, right? So v average the given 48 kilometer per hour. So from this we can find the value of v, right? So v average, we have the relation v average that is equals to total distance by total time taken. So here time taken is t1, so here time taken is t2. So total distance is 200 meter divided by t1 plus t2, right? So as this is in meter, so ella kilometer per hour idrinda, so 1 kilometer is equals to 10 power 3 meter and 1 meter is equals to 10 power minus 3 kilometer, right? So meter na kilometer convert ಮಾಡಿ ಅಥವಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ per hour ನ ಮೀಟರ್ per second ಗೆ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಸೊ ಎರಡರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದನ್ನು ಬೇಕಾದರೂ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, right? So we getting v average that is equals to 200 meter. So 1 meter get 10 power minus 3 ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ 10 to the power of minus 3, right? So here velocity v is equals to distance traveled by time taken, that is 100 divided by t1. So t1 is equals to 100 by 40. So t1 we can write 100 by 40. In the same way t2 we can written 100 by v. So v average they given 48. So LHS is 48. So 2 zeros here, plus 2 minus 3 minus 1, right? So that we can write 0.2, right? So that is 100 by 40 plus 100 by v. So cross multiply ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ 48 into 10 by 4 plus 100 by v, that is equals to 0.2, right? So 10 by 4 plus 100 by v, that is equals to 0.2 by 48. So we need the value of v. 100 by v is equals to, so this we can write 2 divided by 480 minus 10 divided by 4. So 2 ones are 240 now. So we need to take the LCM 240 and 4. So LCM is also 240, right? So 1 minus 600, right? Simplify ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಆನ್ಸರ್. ಸೊ ಇದು ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿ velocity v, you will get v is equals to 100 into 240 so that we are doing this to So ಇದನ್ನ ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿ you get the answer B, right? So answer B ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ. So remaining problems, so assignment ಅಂತ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ. Remaining one 4 to 5 problems ಇದಾವೆ. So just simplification. So ಇದು ಕಾಂಪ್ಲಿಕೇಟ್ ಅನ್ನಿಸ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ first we need to convert kilometer per hour into meter per second. So here also kilometer per hour into meter per second. So ಎರಡು simplify ಮಾಡಿ you can get the value of B. So ಇದರ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. Minus or bar. So we will continue the next chapter in next class. Right? Thank you.